Hello. Good. How are you? Yeah. So good. I'm excited that she's here. Love that woman so much. Yeah, she can't hear you. What? Yep, that's it. See you later, guys. It was good. Thanks for having me. It doesn't work. Great. Love that.
Can you hear me now?
Look, I'm the one you really need to hear.
Yeah,
Me.
exactly. Just let her talk
That's
the
it.
whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll just be like a one-sided conversation because you'll say something to me, but no one else can hear it except me.
It's gonna sound really weird on when I listen back to it because this is gonna be you talking and me just saying nothing. It's just my mouth moving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me just responding to myself.
exactly. I'm pretty sure it's working now, so we're all good. I'm sure Queen will give us a thumbs up in a sec. So we can just do take two on that and start again because this is a very professional setup. This podcast is A1. It's great, 5 stars. It's not. It's terrible.
All right.
Anyway,
Got the green light.
green light. All right, let's start that again. Anyway, like I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted by technology, Map and I have been friends for a long time. We've been on Twitch for a while. And
Yep.
both of us probably regret it.
Yep.
Because of all the time it's taken. But we've met some pretty cool people along the way. So I mean, that definitely replaces it. I mean, we wouldn't have met Queen and stuff if it wasn't for
Exactly.
Twitch. Tell us a bit about yourself. For those who don't know you, I'm sure they do. Most people do, but the people that watch later on, just give them a bit of an outline of what you're all about. And I know you did stream for a bit, and tell us a bit about that.
Sure. Well, I'm Map326, but my name is Mickey. I am 27 and I live in Sydney. I feel like it's so basic.
Yeah. Is this your bio? Or?
This is my dating profile.
Likes long walks on the beach.
I work as a full-time retail store manager, and I hate my job.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I did stream for a bit. Actually, you got me into Twitch in the first place. You're the only reason I came on to actually support you. And my username, I only made that my username because of my license plate, because I knew that it was me because you were my mechanic.
That's true.
And it kind of just stuck. And now I feel like I can't change it because that's just who I am now on Twitch, I guess.
It's true.
But yeah, so I actually got into streaming because of you. Obviously, I went on your stream a few times and helped you out in like 24-hour streams, and really got to love your community, and everyone was really encouraging for me to do it myself. And obviously in lockdown, I had a lot of spare time. And yeah, so I streamed for a bit, and some personal things stopped me from streaming, but I still like I really loved when I did it, and I loved the community, and I loved Twitch. And like you said, we probably both regret being on Twitch because I spend so much time on Twitch.
Mm,
Um
it's a problem.
yeah, but yeah, I've met some really amazing people on Twitch too, so I don't regret any of it.
Yeah, 100%. I always
Yeah.
I always say that to people too. Like, I mean, most of the people that I know overseas now are people because I've met them on the internet on streaming and stuff. So
Yeah.
there's no way that we would have met any of those people if it wasn't for the platform. Even though we complain about it because of the amount of hours we spend. Like I could not even tell you the amount of hours I spend watching Twitch. I have to literally have a day
Me
where I
neither.
don't turn my computer on, like
I
just to
don't
focus.
I mean, most days I'm on Twitch, even just to tab some people up or say hi, like for a couple of minutes. I'm still always on Twitch.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I try to do like I've been trying more to like do different platforms only because, well, one, I'd like to get this platform sort of moving a bit for some other stuff that I'm working on when it comes to like
Yeah.
content and videos, but also like I feel like the podcast, like I started doing the podcast as just a thing that I did on stream, like with my mates, just talking, because I was like, well, we
Yeah.
have Discord calls with people all the time, and kind of wish sometimes the Discord calls we could have recorded because like
Yeah.
some of the greatest conversations you have with the people just hanging out in Discord chat and just like doing whatever, like it doesn't matter what you're doing. So, and that's why the content videos that I've been putting out with Queen have been mostly just us talking, not a lot of gameplay stuff. Like the gameplay is
Yeah.
subpar to the conversation that we have because both
Oh,
of us
100%.
are complete fucking morons and we both suck at Apex. So it's like it's more fun to watch that than it is to actually watch us get, kill after kill or whatever because we're just not getting them. It's like
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like for me, like I don't even watch any big streamers. Because it's for me, even though I love gaming, it's not about the gameplay or how good someone is at the game. The
Mhm.
communities that I'm in there because I love the streamers and I love the community and I love just having that chat with them and having those connections with them. It's not, yeah, at all about how well they play the game.
Mhm.
And I don't give a fuck how they play
Yeah, I
the
get that.
game. But yeah, like I feel like Twitch is great, especially because I started using it when I was in lockdown and everything, and I just, moved out on my own. And it was a long 4 months to be trapped in your house by yourself.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I
so
agree.
yeah, and it was just, I don't know, the connections I've made and the fact that I could have those Discord calls and game with people and just have a bit of a laugh all the time and just have somebody there, you know, to keep me company was amazing. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about the fact that I could make those connections with people.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing about it. Like one of the greatest experiences that I've had is when you first meet someone for the first time, say, and we all know that Twitch time is different to normal time. So like
Yep.
if somebody streams 6 days a week, 6 hours a day, right? Within a
Yep.
week, that person's insides and outs. Like there is no like you don't have to like be there for a month in order to know that person. Now we've
Yeah.
been following certain people on Twitch for more than a year, right?
Yeah.
And we've been in their chats most days. So if you think about it that way, we know more about people that we met on the internet than we know in real life.
Yeah, 100%.
And like the reason I find that is a really good thing and a really bad thing at the same time is that like I know a lot of people that use Twitch as like a placebo for life. Do you know what I mean? So like they'll basically
Yeah.
be like to escape whatever's going on in their life right now. They're like, I'm just gonna go watch Twitch, and then they just get
Yeah.
sucked into. It's like a Netflix vortex, or you know how you start watching one TV show and you finish it and you watch the next season and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's like that, but like you're interacting with other people, so it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it's antisocial, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it kind of is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're not being social outside of the internet, like in person with people, and
Yeah, and you're not
yeah, you
tackling your
kind of
problems.
yeah, yeah,
100%. Um, yeah, but at the same time, like we've met a lot of cool people, and yeah, I know people all across the world now.
yeah. Me too. And
Yeah.
it's crazy because I never thought that, I'd have those connections with people everywhere and, want to visit almost every country to meet these people.
I know, right? There's a lot of countries in the world that I never even thought I would go to, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
I might. Yeah. Um, I was speaking to Obliterator, Jamie, like
Yep.
a
Love him.
couple of weeks. Oh,
Great guy.
yeah, I think it was last week. He's awesome. And we were thinking about doing like a group event for all the
Yeah.
Aussie streamers down in Melbourne. So we're thinking
Yeah.
about like renting out a space where we can go have like dinner and stuff, and then
Yeah.
like setting up cameras and shit so we can do like a Big Brother type thing
Oh god.
with like
It's amazing.
yeah. So I was thinking we're gonna get Rebel to come in, and like
Yeah.
we're gonna get Eaglet will come, and all the boys, the Warzone
All the boys. Yep.
But we're also gonna try and get as many girls down there as possible so we can get an even mix. But
Yeah, it's not a sausage party.
exactly, no one wants a sausage party unless you do.
Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to a sausage party.
Yeah. Speaking of that, this is a weird segue, but when I first started streaming, right, and it was like
Yep.
real early days, everybody knew Map as the filthy mouth of the chat, all right? Now, people that don't know you IRL would have just thought you're being a troll, right?
Oh, but I was too.
Yeah.
Just a troll always.
Yeah, but that's just the way it is. Like this is why I always laughed and I always egged it on, because I'm like, because I know you as a person, it's just hilarious to me because and everyone else thinks, oh, she's just being a really troll. She's probably she doesn't really mean half that stuff. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Hey, I don't lie.
I can't lie. But touching on that point, like I remember, like when I first started streaming, and yeah, you were always there. That's why you are number one VIP, and it will always remain to be true.
Yeah.
It was funny because like it used to be just me and you talking
Yeah.
like
yeah.
for days. Like every time I streamed, you're in there just chatting to me, and like
Yeah.
literally it could have just been you and me. That was it. Like the entire stream, and that was fine because I was like,
It's a vibe.
yeah, and I like proper like truly thank you for that, because like I mean otherwise I would have just been sitting there playing Warzone poorly to myself and like had no one to talk to. So like it's really nice that you made that effort. I mean you didn't have to.
Oh, of course. Of course. You're one of like my oldest friends. So,
Yeah.
I came in and I was very confused. I didn't know what Twitch was. I was like so nervous to talk to anybody because I was like, I don't know these people. Like, what are they going to think of me? And I remember you doing like a marble stream.
Oh
Like
yeah.
every Thursday you did like marbles on stream.
It's wild.
And yeah, so long ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like I started coming in and a few people would just like start having that banter with me, and I just started really like loving like being there. I was like, oh, this is really fun. Like these people, they're not terrifying at all. And I can be me and I can be accepted for me and not have to worry. And yeah, it's great that, there's, so many different personalities on Twitch. And I'm very happy that a lot of people have accepted me for me and my filthy mouth and my extremely dirty mind, and that they love me for it.
This is literally why we're friends in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the whole reason why we became friends. Like it's like we just started having conversations and they were always just ridiculously hilarious.
Oh, always. Like I remember just like sitting there like in the car for like hours just having a fucking laugh. It was so good.
Yeah, that's great. It's always good. Queen's a bit like that too. She's a similarly dirty-minded woman.
Oh yeah, she's 100% my girl. And this is why I want to have a go on her tits.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Am I allowed to say these things?
You can. It's YouTube. Probably wouldn't say it anywhere else though. But I mean, look, you mean it in the best of ways. Like you're ready. You're ready for that show.
I would turn for Queen any day.
Yeah.
I already have. Let's be honest.
Exactly. So when she comes to visit, we'll just have to fight over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Hey, look, threesome. Just put it
Yeah,
out there.
as long as you can high five at the end.
Oh.
100%. Est Fire, hello, welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. Don't know who you are, but please introduce yourself. Yes, you can say that and do it. I had no
Alright,
doubts. I had no doubts.
Come to Sydney, we'll make it happen.
100%, 100%. So, what did you like? So, this is going to be a weird question for you. It's going to like hurt your brain a little bit. Prior to any of the Twitch stuff, like prior to everything before that, what did we used to do? Like, because like nowadays you think to yourself, you're like, okay, I'm going to get on my computer and I'm going to chat with my friends or whatever like that. And you're just like, before this, like we actually go out and do stuff, right? So,
oh, right.
what
But
did
that was
we
a completely
actually-
different world. Like, that was pre-COVID. Like,
That's what exactly, right? That's crazy. COVID fucked everything.
oh, the world, like, if you really think about it, the world's changed so much since COVID.
Mm.
Like, it just blows my mind, like, that, you know, this pandemic can just come out of nowhere and everything changes. But it just becomes so normal so quickly. But to answer your question, because now I'm just rambling about random shit.
That's all right. That's what a podcast is for.
Yeah. What did we do before? That's a good question. We had to go out. Always, like, you went to like the pub all the time. You're always watching the footy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. I just watched a lot of like movies and TV shows. That was pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
Work. And then just binging shows. Which I still do, but just obviously not to the same extent because I put more time into Twitch now and games. But
Yeah. And were you always a gamer when you were growing up and that, or did you just get into it from Twitch?
I've always been a gamer on and off. I mostly played Sims growing up because like I grew up with brothers and we had every console that you can probably imagine. With 5 of us in the family, like there was always a console around, but you know, we had only like one TV to play off. So majority of the time my brothers would be playing on the consoles and this and that. So I barely got a chance to play on consoles unless we were playing multiplayer games. Or I happened to snag the TV like while no one was there. But I grew up playing a lot of like the Sims games because I could play that on the computer while they were playing on the console. So even though, you know, obviously I did play other games, like Sims was a massive part of my life, and I haven't actually played Sims at all in probably over 2 years now, which is weird for me because I was playing it for 20 years. Like,
Wow.
yeah, and that blows my mind.
So you had like every single expansion pack,
Oh, yeah.
like all of them, the holiday packs.
Yep. I have spent thousands of dollars on that game.
That's crazy. See, I spent all of an hour on it and then hated it.
Yeah, I remember. And I kept being like, Sims, I'll teach you how to play. You were like, fuck that.
Dude, I literally tried it. I played for a whole of 1 hour. I remember because Holty was in my chat with me, and I had played for a whole hour. And at the end of the hour, I was like, I still don't know what to do, and I don't like it. And I ended up just switching games.
Yeah. It was like the one time I wasn't in your chat that you played it. I was like, are you kidding me? Of
I
all
know.
the times you could have played The Sims, when I'm not there.
Isn't that wild? We should. We'll put it this way. All right, I'll give you this. How about one day, if you play with me, right? So you come on like a Discord or whatever and just like talk me through it. I'll give it another go. How about that?
All right.
We'll do it as like the map special.
Yes.
I don't mind doing that, but like Holty refers to it as the hour the hour of the Sims. So it's just like, remember that time, you know, the hour of the Sims. Like it's like some sort of war date. You know, the battle of the Sims. You know, right again, you just be like, do you
it was
remember
the
that
most
time?
dreaded hour of your life.
It's just like you really struggled and suffered, but it was great. Like I really enjoyed it. It's like, why did you enjoy it? Like I didn't produce anything out of it. Like
you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I walked around for an hour in my own house, pressed a lot of buttons, and I couldn't figure out how to build anything, so I just stopped playing. I went to work twice. Like,
oh, that sounds amazing.
But this is the thing, though, right? About that game. I remember, you know my mate Michael. I won't dox him, but he's my Greek mate Michael. My
I probably know who you're talking about. Yeah.
You've probably met him, I think. But he was a massive, massive Sims fanatic. And when we were younger, so like when I'm talking like 10, 12 years old, when it first came out, like the first ever Sims, you know what I mean? Like it came out on like Windows 98 or something.
Yes.
It
was literally just called The Sims.
The Sims, yeah. And then after that, they brought out, I think it was like Sims Vacation. And it was, there was another one.
Like Sims Busted Out.
Yeah, there was like an island one. Was it an island holiday one or something? Or...
Yeah, there was. There was Nightlife. There was a lot of expansions for The Sims. Like the first one.
Because he spent hundreds of dollars on that, right? And we used to go over to his house after school and play it. And like I just watched because I was like, I don't get it. But he was playing and I would watch him play and I was like, I don't understand. Like I just never understood.
Why?
Like it's like he would be the kind of person that would like lock someone in a room and like without a toilet and like take the toilet away and then like turn it into like naked mode.
Wait until they die.
Yeah, just stuff like that. It's just like this is not The Sims Live. This is The Sims torture chamber. Like it's
literally. It's like put them in the pool and then build walls around the pool so they couldn't get out. And they're just constantly swimming until they died. Like
just exhaust out to the point where they just drown. It's like wow.
You can actually get like mods for it where you have like you can make natural disasters happen and stuff like that and kill Sims. Like
really.
Clearly, it's like a therapeutic thing for some people to just like create a bunch of people and kill them.
Yeah, that's like I mean, there's other games like that you can do, like I don't know, like for example, you could be like they had like Sim City. Do you remember Sim City?
Yes, Sim City. Yep.
You could cause the natural disasters or the alien invasion or whatever it was, like all the city would like just get decimated by asteroids or like that was actually not a bad game.
I remember playing it at school.
Yeah.
A lot in like my IT class. It's like, how is this teaching me anything? But sure.
That's what IT class was for. Like this is the thing, right? They would not have IT classes anymore at school, right? Like that was the thing for us.
Yeah, like
because everyone knows how to use it.
Technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually really weird to think about. I guess they could do more like coding and stuff like that if they're gonna like dive more into the IT side of things, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're just giving out our ages or whatever, but like, I remember I used to take my homework to school for IT on a floppy disk because I'm old.
Yes, floppy disk, so good. But like we had like those fucking brick computers when I was at school still. Yeah. Like we were, and like nowadays so many kids just have like laptops that they take to school and stuff. Like we didn't have that. We did not have that.
I didn't even own one until I was like mid-20s. Like do you know what I mean? Like I didn't even have this is my first PC.
Yeah.
Like I've had laptops before, like for like work and bits and pieces. I had a gaming laptop for a while, which exploded into a million pieces. But this is my first PC I ever purchased and ever had built. So, and I was speaking to, I believe it was Nez about it. I think it was episode 27, and we were talking about CD-ROM drives, right?
Yeah.
And she said to me, she's like, I bought a CD the other day because I wanted to listen to it, and then I realized I didn't have a CD-ROM drive on my PC.
Oh shit.
And she's like, I didn't have one in my car either because I just bought a new car.
Oh my god.
And so she's like, I couldn't play it. Like she's like, so I have the CD, it's brand new in plastic, and I don't have a CD player in my whole house.
Like you don't need to buy just like a standalone CD player anymore. You just buy like a sound system and plug it into whatever. Or
plug it into your phone.
Yeah. It's really crazy. Like when you think about it, all the girls at work are like pretty young as well. And I talk to them about things all the time that I did when I was growing up or listened to or watched or whatever. They're just like, what? I've never heard of that. I was like, you kidding me? Like, that's iconic.
It's crazy.
And then it makes me feel really old.
My brother still has a record player at his house. Like,
yeah, that's cool. Retro things are cool though.
Yeah, expensive.
Well, certain things are cool.
Yeah. It's like, records are still like $45-$50 each. Why? Like, I don't get it.
Because
Like,
they're trendy.
yeah, there's like research or something. Did
But
you
also it's just because you can't. I mean, you can still buy them, but certain ones obviously are more in value because they're older and they're not being made anymore or anything like that.
True. Did you hear the story about how I bought headphones and I don't have a headphone jack on my phone?
Yeah, I think you told me that actually. Yeah.
It was the dumbest moment of my life. Like,
Oh my god.
I was at the airport and I didn't have any headphones. So I bought some to plug in on the plane. And when I got on the plane, I opened them, right? So this is me. I opened the packet, pulled them out, went to plug them into my phone, and I was like, hold on. I don't have a headphone jack on my phone.
Yeah.
I was like, it was such a fucking, I was just like, oh my God, I actually just did that. Like it was like $100 too or something like that. So it's like,
Yeah, well.
I just literally just burnt $100 note in front of me. And I was like, well, that's awesome. Like, I don't even have anything I could plug them into here. Literally nothing. Like, I don't know. It made me laugh. Like, I laughed out loud on the plane. Like, people were like,
You're probably like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Just fucking pissing myself laughing with them in my one hand and my phone in the other. I was just like, fuck it. It's funny as shit. Oh, so good.
Queen said that she has a record player in her lounge, but she's never used it. It just looks cool.
It's feng shui.
That's it. Like, yeah.
100%, you know, for someone who has literally nothing in their house, I cannot relate, but you know,
yeah.
most people
this room
should.
literally has this desk and that set of drawers. Like,
it's that big too.
I know, it's so empty though.
Oh,
it's great.
Don't let Annalise hear, you know, especially because of the whole couch situation. Like,
yeah,
I'll never leave that
no
down.
casting couch.
Yeah, no casting couch at Rugged's house. Wow, that's funny as fuck. Well, besides The Sims, what other games are you thinking about playing? Like, I know that, you know, obviously you love just watching people play and, you know, talk to people and stuff like that, but
yeah.
Is there going to be a map stream in the future, or are you just going to stick to playing in some games? I know you play a bit of Dead by Daylight and stuff.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to do some more. It's just finding the time. I literally, I had a 2.5 hour nap before this stream. I mean,
so
before this podcast, because I have been that tired from work. Like, I've worked the last 5 days. I have 1 day off, and then I work another 5 days in a row. And yeah, it's really hard to fit in streaming around that.
Yeah.
And still have enough rest and enough like mental health and energy, I guess you should say.
Yeah, I understand.
Because as much as streaming is really fun, it definitely is exhausting. And I don't think people realize that.
Yeah, it's burnout.
Yeah.
Proper. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to come back. Probably not on like a schedule or anything like that, but just every now and then when I get some time, just chill out, catch up with some people. But yeah, I have been playing a little bit of Apex. I'm absolutely horseshit at it.
Same.
Like worse than you and Queen.
It's pretty bad.
But no, I've like enjoyed that, so I might play that a little bit more. And I'm actually really excited for this new this Hogwarts legacy game that's going to come out. Like, I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, I'd definitely get into that. It looks good.
Yeah. Hopefully it's like just as good as it looks though, you know?
That's the problem. I mean, like, they've had games like, I remember one of my mates, Sam's a massive, massive Battlefield fan.
Yeah.
He was super excited about the new Battlefield. Like, he was talking about it every single day. Like, he's bought every single Battlefield game that's ever come out, and he's never had anything, or he's never said anything bad about any of them, right? He pre-ordered this game like a year in advance, like the ultimate pack, or whatever it was, like $180, whatever it was. He was ready. Like, day one, he installs it, plays it for a day. He uninstalled it the next day, and he asked for his money back. Now, for somebody who is like that, you know, he was that excited about a game to be that disappointed.
Yeah.
And now the game's dead.
Yeah.
Like, it has died. Like, Steam have given people's money back on that game.
Wow.
I think to the point of nearly 60% of players.
Wow.
And because it was so buggy that it was unplayable. And the devs didn't fix it properly, and they just patched it, and it just broke again. And so everyone went back to playing Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
So
Go back to the original.
yeah, they're just like, fuck this, we're out. Like, I just think that's like, I mean, it's the same with a certain amount of games have done that. Like Cyberpunk did that. You know, that game came out, everyone was really excited about it. It looks great. They spent billions of fucking dollars on it, and it just shit the bed. Like, it was terrible. And it took them nearly a year to fix it. And by then, who's gonna buy it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
the hype's gone.
It's gone. Like, they had Keanu Reeves on the front of the packet. Like, it was gonna be like the game of the year. You know, like, it just ended up being an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
I feel like it's funny. Like, some games are like hyped up. Do you know what I mean? To like be the best games ever, and they suck. Then other games you hear nothing about, and all of a sudden everybody's playing it because like And I guess the point I'm saying is like that's the other thing about Twitch. Like, I play games because I watch other people play them, and I think I might like them.
Yeah.
Whereas like before I even knew what Twitch was, like I never was into Mix or anything because I didn't even know what that was either, and that's what you know came before it. But I'd never watch people play video games. I'd always just play them myself. And I'd usually bought a video game, played it for like a couple of days and hated it and uninstalled it, and vice versa, it goes on. Or I love it and I play it till it's dead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I get to watch people actually play games properly.
Yeah.
Like, and it actually is really helpful. Especially when you get stuck on stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
So yeah, I think that's a great aspect of it. But like you said, the personal aspect of it too, like it's really enjoyable to meet people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's cool as well, like on Twitch, you know, you said if you do get stuck in a game, like people in a community have either played it or there's people that are, you know, searching that particular game. They can come into your chat, and it's nice sometimes, like, just to have that one person help you out in a really tight spot and be like, hey, what do I do here? I mean, 100%. I know some people don't like backseating and whatnot.
Yeah,
but like sometimes it's helpful. Yeah.
It's wild. I've witnessed it firsthand. It's like scary angry. It's like, well, dude, like you're on a live platform playing a video game. You know?
And someone can see that, you know, you're clearly struggling to get where you need to get. To get.
What are you, Kiwi or something? No, it's true.
If only I was cultured enough.
Yeah.
No. Said I'm stuck with this stupid Aussie accent.
Yeah. Fucking bludger. No, it's true. Like I perfect example of that. I was watching a stream a couple of weeks ago, and they were playing Skyrim for the first time.
Yeah.
Now, Skyrim has been out.
That's such an old game.
13 years, right?
Yep.
I remember playing that when it first came out on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Like, it's been out for a long time. And someone was playing it for the first time the other day on stream, and it said no backseating. I was like, I was confused by that. Like, I understand if it's like, say, like I remember when Far Cry 6 came out.
Yeah.
I played that game no backseating for like a week. Like, it took me a week to finish it because I was like, I'm going to play this whole thing from start to finish on stream.
Yeah.
Because it was like one of the games I was really excited about because I'm a big fan of that series.
Yeah.
And so I like, you know, pre-ordered it and I played it on the day it came out and I played it from start to finish and it was great. And everyone who was in the community was just like, they weren't going to play it as fast as I was. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was not going to get any spoilers, you know, except maybe from Koshi, but that was about it. But yeah, so like, but he's playing a game that's 13 years later and he's going no backseating. And then someone came in and said, hey man, if you want to finish this, but you just need to do this. And he just got so mad. And I was like, I don't think you can do that. Do
You're not allowed to be mad.
Yeah, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like, I think you missed the boat on that one, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You had a while to do that.
Yeah, you had plenty of time to play.
You could have just played it offline and filmed it and put it on different platform as well. Yeah. Like, This is the thing, other thing people don't realize with certain platforms like YouTube and Twitch and stuff. You don't have to do it live. You can actually play it and just upload it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the surprising thing too. I never really paid attention to offline VOD watches
Yeah.
because we just don't. We just you finish the stream, you think everybody who saw it, and no one else is going to watch it. You'd be surprised the amount of people that watch VODs. And I think that's wild. Like, I personally speaking, I watch VODs if somebody is like playing and there's no chat interaction.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, playing a game that's like a storyline game, then they're not involved with chat. Or I watch a lot of people who play slots and stuff.
Yeah.
Who do bonus hunts and stuff. You don't have to be there in the chat because they're not going to read the chat. So it's like, but I just watch it back because it's like, I don't know. I put it on before I go to bed and I fall asleep watching it. I don't know why it's so soothing to my brain.
Yeah.
But like, it's just easy way to go to sleep. Like, because you know how much I sleep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not. But yeah, I don't know. It's really enjoyable, I find.
Yeah.
Something else I wanted to ask you, actually, and I don't think a lot of people probably know this about you. Your obsession with horror stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to dive into that because, like,
Right.
when I first met you, okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you first meet someone, you're thinking, what do you want to do? Like, I was thinking to myself, I don't know, like, we were going to hang out and like get a coffee or something, or whatever. And she's like, you want to watch a movie? I was like, yeah, sure. What was the movie that you picked?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
Wait, you talking about the Australian one?
Yeah. What was it called?
The Loved Ones.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it's definitely messed up.
So, first time meeting someone.
It says a lot about me.
Didn't know a lot about you. You're like, I do like some horror stuff. I was like, cool, that's fine.
Yep.
So I don't mind some horror movies and shit. And she puts on this movie. It was so fucked up. Like, it was so weird. It was like, I can't remember the specifics of it, but I just remember sitting there being like, it's an interesting choice for a first time date. But I was like, okay.
Oh.
But yeah, it made me laugh and it was enjoyable. But yeah, you've always had an obsession with horror stuff.
I have. Actually, no, that's a lie. I used to be terrified of horror films.
Really?
Until I was probably about 20. And I was like, I'm talking like I was the biggest pussy when it came to horror films. Like, in the past, with one of my exes, we went to go see Paranormal Activity. I think it was like number
I remember this story, yeah.
2 or 3. Actually, I think it was 3. And I got so scared in the movie theater that I cried. Like, I'm not talking like a couple of tears, like I'm talking like full breakdown crying.
Yeah.
To the point where like we had to leave the theater. And he was like, "Are we going to go back in and watch the end of the movie?" And I was like, "No, I can't do it. Like, I'm way too scared. I can't." And so he had to miss out on the end of the film, and then he had to drive me home, and I couldn't even walk from his car into my house alone. Like, he had to get out and walk me inside the house because I was way too scared. And then I spent the whole night just laying there like paranoid as fuck
Oh my god.
in bed. But then, really weirdly, my siblings had asked me to watch a movie with them, and like I absolutely hate it. So they were kind of just like pressuring me, like pushing me to watch this movie. It's called the Babadook. It's Australian as well. It's more of like a psychological horror.
Mhm.
And everything online says, this is the best horror film. This is really scary, like all this sort of stuff. Every time you look it up, it's always in the list of like the best or scariest horror movies. And I sit there and I'm watching it and I'm like, this isn't scary at all. And from that moment, I loved horror and I became obsessed with it.
Wow.
And I don't even understand why, but I did. And then I spent every Monday, me and my sister would just like binge watch horror films like all day on the couch. We'd just like take in turns who was going to choose the next film for like a good year. And yeah, I just fell in love with them. Then I started reading horror and I started playing horror and yeah.
Yeah, wow. such a weird turnaround of something. It's
Yeah.
like being terrified to the point of crying to all of a sudden just being like, yeah, I think that, that Jason guy was misunderstood.
Literally.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Probably a great partner,
Yeah, he's a great guy. He just really liked to stab people. Like, it's not his fault.
It's hard,
Yeah. This is why I love you. So fucked up. So good.
That's so fucked up.
That's so fucked
true.
up. It's true. It's very true. Wow. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid and I wasn't a big fan of horror movies when I was a kid because I didn't know. I just didn't really watch them, I guess. Like, my parents are super vanilla, so they're never gonna like watch anything like that.
Vanilla is the worst word to use right now.
It is, but it's totally true. And I love them to bits, but they're all like mum's like the romantic comedy type, typically. And dad just watches whatever. I don't think he really has a preference. Like, it's like a doco kind of guy, you know what I mean? Like,
likes to learn.
Which is great, but there was no horror films in my house. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I didn't really grow up with them. I think my brother is not. He likes horror movies and stuff, like nowadays. But I remember when I was a kid, my dad was like, "We should watch," and this is gonna sound really stupid. He's like, "We should watch Star Trek: First Contact," and I was like, "I don't know what that is." And he's just he's like, "You're gonna watch it with me. You'll like it." I was 12. And I'm like, okay. So I got introduced to a Borg when I was 12. Now Borg, if you're not a Star Trek fan, is like a half man, half machine. And they're like a collective hive mind of characters, basically. So if you are a Borg, you're basically linked to each other. So it's like a hive of bees, basically. They all think together. And they're controlled by the Queen, obviously, which is, Anyway, so what they do is they take over other starships and like they assimilate the crew into like machines, like half machine, half man. Like it's fucking, the way they do it is they have this big screw thing on their finger and they shove it in the neck and they're like, inject the nanites into them and shit. Anyway, so like,
Damn,
there's this one scene where they're out outside the deck with like the spacesuits on, and they're trying to like fill a hole on the deck, and all of a sudden this thing comes up behind him and just fucking shoves this thing in his neck, and it's just blood fucking goes everywhere, and it's like, anyway, 12-year-old me is just sitting there like, what the actual fuck? Like, because like nowadays, I mean, for me now, I'm a massive Star Trek fan. I love it. But like when I was 12, I was just like, this is too much for me right now. And it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm 12. And I'm like, I'm terrified. And at the end of the movie, I said to Dad, I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And he's like, okay. I'm like, can you stand behind me? He's like, what do you mean? It's like, I need you to go back to back me while I'm in the bathroom because I don't want to get assimilated by the Borg. And my dad was like, what have I done?
He's like, oh God.
Traumatized this child forever. But that was just a fun story about horror and stuff that I thought was hilarious. But nowadays, like one of my favorite movies is Silence of the Lambs. So I don't know, like
that's a good one.
But it's so well filmed. Like it's a beautiful fucking movie. Like I know it's about serial killers, but like it is just everything about that movie is like cinematic genius.
Yeah.
Like I think that's if people can like when it comes to horror movies, I think if you can look past the blood and the guts and all that kind of stuff and actually see what the director was trying to do, I think you get more appreciation out of the art of it.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of like why you like them so much, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also some of them are just absolutely terrible, and that's what makes them great because they're funny. You can laugh at them.
Yeah, true. Like real bad slashes.
What is this? Yeah, like what is this crap?
It's like, why is she going back into the room where the killer was? Like, you're making it too easy for her. No.
You can trap yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I always like the ones where they're like so scared they can't run away.
Yeah, they just
like, and then they're like trying to climb up the stairs and they break their ankle. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
happened to break their ankle.
Just really bad timing.
The helpless victim.
Yeah. I think that's another one I really liked was Friday the 13th, just because it was just funny, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it was like such a classic.
Yeah, it's such
Um,
a classic.
yeah, and it's just, I mean, even like Freddy Krueger as a character too is just,
Yeah.
it's just crazy good.
No,
Like
he is.
that was
Just
terrifying
like the
too.
concept as well, like,
You can't even
of someone
sleep.
who yeah, of someone who comes up with these ideas. Like, I really appreciate people that are creative
Hmm.
in so many different ways. Like, obviously, I'm very, like, artive and creative myself, but, like, I have my brother who, like, has studied to be a director, and my sister has, like, studied to in creative writing and stuff like that, so I really appreciate, like, the creative mind and how someone can come up with these stories or these ideas, and I just find it, like, really interesting
Yeah.
in all sense, but, like, horror as well, like, really taking something from, you know, a nightmare and bringing it to life, or taking something from a life experience and kind of, like, reenacting that. I think that that's
Yeah.
yeah, just really interesting to watch and really
It's like
it draws
cinematic
me in.
trauma dump.
Yeah. This is my head.
It's like, how did the guy know? He just wrote a book out of my brain. Like,
Yeah.
wild. Um, in reference to the horror side of things, but also like the cinematic effects,
Yeah.
and you've also been really interested, and I know you with your makeup and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the amount of makeup this woman owns, guys, is out of this fucking world. Like, I mean, it was a lot when I saw it last, and that was a while back. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it's grown since, but yeah, tell us about that obsession.
Um, yeah, funnily enough, kind of like horror, didn't actually like it growing up. In fact, my sister used to want to do my makeup all the time. And I'm talking like when I was like 7, 8, 9.
Hmm.
Absolutely hated it. It was the worst thing. And I'd always feel like I had to agree. And I'd sit there for hours while she painted my face. And I was just like, I hate this. Absolutely hate this. Um, but then I remember like Halloween has always been such a fun thing for me. Like I always got so excited for Halloween. And um, even watching like sounds really stupid, but like Hocus Pocus, like Disney movies that are
Mm-hmm.
like Halloween based, like I loved those growing up. And because they weren't scary, like back then I was the pussy, so they weren't actually scary, but they had that little bit of a spooky
Yeah, I
spooky
guess you.
aspect to them, and I liked that. Um but yeah, so Halloween came around and my sister would help me do my makeup when I was younger, and then I got older, and then I was in high school and I was a teenager, and I just started getting into makeup, and then started watching a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that, and actually made my own YouTube tutorials when I was
Mm-hmm.
about 16.
I've seen them.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I can put the link in the
No,
description
please
below.
don't. So bad. Back in my like scene emo phase, screamo music playing over the top of them, like just absolute
We've all
like
been there.
quality films.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, no, I just started falling in love with it and doing things like more creative, like um, more themed looks and more special effects sort of looks. And on my Twitch, actually did my makeup series for Halloween last year, where I was, doing different um horror characters, serial killers, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Every week, so that was really exciting. But yeah, I just fell in love with it. I just loved the fact that there was just no limit to how creative you could be with what you had, and like the only limitation was your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is just it's crazy, because I think a lot of people look at it at the sense of, you just wear it every day. Some people wear it because it makes them feel better, because they're confident, etc. But when you really like start diving into how different things work together and how you can create different textures and how you can actually build onto the face and change features and how they look, and you can make yourself literally look whatever, like however you want. It's pretty amazing that there is so much knowledge, and there is so much way to do like there's so many ways to do that, and it basically just comes down to how creative you are and how much time you put into it. And some of the things that people do are just absolutely mind blowing, and it's pretty convincing.
Yeah.
It can be pretty convincing. Like if you look at horror films and you look at, special effects and the bloods and stuff like that, like obviously sometimes it looks very fake and you can tell.
Yeah.
But some people are absolutely amazing at their jobs, and like it literally looks just like it would if you were to, be stabbed in real life or be burnt in real life or, you know, all those kind of things. And I just think that it's crazy that you can fool people's perception, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
with just by putting some products on your face or some
100%.
latex or whatever.
Yeah, that's what like Hollywood's all about, isn't it? Like fooling the public
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
comes to that kind of stuff. But I mean, yeah, because most people think makeup and they think, vanity. They
Yeah.
think like, looking pretty or, whatever, like just day to day kind of stuff. Whereas
Yeah.
you're basically looking at it from a perspective of art,
Yes. Yeah.
which is, yeah, not what most people would look at it for. And that's
Yeah.
probably explains why you have so many palettes of makeup.
Yeah. I feel like there's a pretty big like misconception in the world and I guess in the media that every female that wears makeup, wears it because she's trying to look better for XYZ person or because she's not confident or whatever the case may be. And yes, that's true in some cases, but makeup doesn't necessarily have to be that. And people who like me who love makeup, like I barely wear makeup in real life. I
Yeah.
barely ever actually put it on. Um because like I have the confidence. I don't feel like I need it, but like you said, I look at it as art. So when I do it, it's exciting for me. I get to use my creative brain, and I get to explore those kind of things. And sometimes I do wear it just because I want to look a bit better. But I feel like there's a big misconception in the fact that like everybody that wears it is insecure, or anybody that really loves makeup like obviously isn't confident in themselves. And I think that that's really shitty.
Yeah. No, I get that. That makes sense. It's like when a guy puts on a suit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, without it, you just, you're just a dude.
Just guy. No.
Yeah, you're just a guy. But when you wear a suit, like I've worn suits in the past, and you feel good.
Yeah.
You feel good because you look good. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with the confidence side of it as well. Like,
Yeah.
as something, and yeah, I think it's whatever makes you happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do whatever makes you happy. I think
Yeah.
too many people like get hung up on like what other people are doing and not what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, mind your own fucking business. Like,
Literally.
if someone enjoys doing something and it puts a smile on their face every day, who are you to take that away from them? Doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the same concept as like, what you do every day. Like, what you do every day and what the person next to you does every day has no ramification.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Unless it directly affects you, like in a job or something, it doesn't really matter. Like, the guy across the road, he goes to the gym every day and then he goes and eats something else and he does this and he does that and he smokes or whatever he does. That's his choice.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect me. So why do I shouldn't care about what other people do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. It's just, that's the other thing I noticed, I guess, is the downside of being on the internet when it comes to live streaming.
Yep.
Is people like to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Everybody
mean?
has their opinion and everybody wants to share it.
Correct. And
Yeah.
I think the people that don't share their opinion are the people that should be sharing their opinion,
Yeah.
because they're usually the ones that, you know what I'm getting at. Like people like to be heard, but at the same time, the people that shout the loudest are always the ones that are noticed the most.
Yeah.
And that's just
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah. And that, I think this, most of the platforms on the internet are a bit like that. Even like, I don't know whether you've dived into the cesspool of Twitter, but don't, if you haven't already.
Don't do it.
I jumped on that bandwagon late and I regret everything, because it's just a source of negative bullshit. Like, it literally, if you don't bubble yourself on that platform, so I'm talking like follow the people who do the same thing as you. Like, you follow everyone who's like a streamer and then you don't get anything else, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you start delving into the other side of it, like you start following trendings and all that kind of shit, it is like a fucking disaster. Like, honestly, I followed a couple of random people outside of like the streaming stuff, and all of a sudden my
Yeah.
feed is just filled with bullshit.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I can't read it. Like, it's like
Yeah.
Facebook all over again. It's just like, and you know, we all know that platform's dead.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
no.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Yeah, no, I think that's, I don't know, I feel like I'm a pretty easygoing person in most senses. My
Hmm.
sense of the words. Like, when I was streaming, you know, I'd always have people coming in, or trolls coming in, or people, like you said, giving their opinion or whatever. But it's easy enough for some people to be able to brush it off and just, not let it get to them.
Yeah.
I remember I was doing a makeup stream. I had some come in and tell me I look like a man, and it's just like, cool, glad you think that. Like,
Does
but
it
it doesn't.
matter?
Yeah, it doesn't affect me. Like, I'm not here to, look how you want me to look or please you and how you think I should look.
Yeah.
That's not what my life is about. I don't even know you. Like, I'm happy with myself. But
Exactly.
there's a lot of people that are on the internet that struggle with that, I think. And yeah, it's shit that people feel like they, just because they can share their opinion, that they have to.
Mm.
But you don't always have to. You can keep some things to yourself.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think that do you think that people who are not as thick-skinned as you and me should be on the internet, or do you think that like they should be and should be able to like use it as a growth thing?
I feel like you can't really say that no one should be on the internet, because that's everything we know now, I guess.
Correct.
We always have our phone in our hands, or a sort of social media platform, or watching something. Um so I think it's hard to say like don't go on there, but I feel like it's a very dangerous place for some
Mm.
people. And I feel like people don't really understand their limits, or when they should step back to help themselves.
Hmm.
Because I feel like we've just kind of gotten to a point in life where we're kind of just addicted to it. That's what we know. And some people can't even go a day without their phone or whatever if they're going out camping and there's like reception. People struggle
Yeah.
with that because that's just our whole life now.
Hmm.
um but I think that people, if you aren't as thick skinned and you can't just brush it off, and you can't take what people say with a grain of salt kind of thing, I feel like they kind of get sucked in more, rather than just taking that step back and taking time away and realizing, you know, that there's more to life than just the internet.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a lot of people who like lose their lives and stuff from what they see or gets said to them while they're on the internet. There's a lot of bullying, especially in schools and stuff like that. And I feel like instead of like, I don't feel like they ever sit there and go, okay, I just don't go on the internet for a
They can't do it.
and yeah, they just can't, because it's just all we know. I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
Is that everyone's just become so reliant on technology, and that's you know all we do. Like I said, like I watch TV shows, I watch movies, I game, I'm on Twitch.
Hmm.
Like that's literally my whole life, and it's all technology.
100%.
Yeah,
You can't just pick up a book anymore, can you?
yeah,
Without being
yeah. Like
distracted by something.
even my book is an ebook. Like
It's
it's
crazy.
never just sitting there and actually, reading a book or having that conversation. Like people always on their phones, even in the middle of a conversation with some person. Like it's
Yeah.
just what we're used to.
Well, because
I feel like.
the argument from people who are sort of like our age and older,
Yeah.
when it comes to this kind of stuff, is that it is the most connected the world's ever been, but the most disconnected you have ever been to individuals.
Yeah.
So like,
100%.
it's like, because like, when we were kids, bullying and stuff existed. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, emotional and physical bullying was always a thing. Like, I
Yeah.
was bullied in school. I'm sure that you had some experience with that too.
Yep.
Because everybody has, like, even if you're the bully, you're getting bullied by someone else. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Exactly.
just a part of growing up as a kid. Like, you
Yeah.
know, there's gonna be dickheads and there's gonna be assholes, and they're both the same people. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many. Like, but eventually, they'll grow up and they'll either grow out of it or they'll stay the same and they'll succeed, or they won't. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But we understand now as adults, it's like when somebody is bullying you, they're obviously going through something else. Do you know what I mean? Whether it be trauma or emotional problems at home or whatever it might be, it's their way of lashing out at you because
they're unhappy within themselves. And
it makes them feel better. You're vulnerable,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Unfortunately, for people who are, say, a little bit weaker minded when they're younger and haven't really experienced the world as much, it affects them in really, really horrible ways. And and then for the other majority of people, it affects them and then they try and use it to like grow their character a bit. So it's like, it depends how it goes. But my point is, bullying now with kids, it would be so much worse than it was for us.
Yeah.
Because we left it at school.
Yeah, you can't escape
You can't escape a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Like you can't escape social media. You can't escape anything. We had MSN Messenger.
MSN, yeah.
Half the time didn't connect anyway. Like half the time we were fighting someone with the fucking landline and you know, halfway through a conversation that means nothing the next day, your mother would pick up the phone and all it was here was da-dang. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just hanging up. Fuck. You know? But because MSN was pretty fucking simple. Like there was nothing crazy about it. Like,
but it was amazing. Like I loved MSN.
It was good.
Like it wouldn't survive in life now.
No,
because of every other platform we have. But back then, that was the shit. Like
that was. Remember group chats?
Yes.
Group chats were like the most ridiculously fucked up things.
It was insane, and like you could nudge people when they weren't responding to you.
Oi, dickhead! Like,
excuse me, I'm important.
Yeah, it's like you're poking people in the face while you're messaging. It's like, you hear me? Like, you know what I mean? I totally
don't fucking ignore me.
Yeah, I kind of like it takes me back. I miss that kind of thing, but at the same time, like it was still like it was new to us and it was like new to everyone. So it was kind of like we didn't really abuse it as much. You know what I mean? Like, whereas like all the stuff that is accessible today, like if you get I mean, I'd hate to be a parent nowadays.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a horrible thing. Like, I mean, yeah, of course it would be rewarding. Like to be a dad or whatever, but at the same time, I would hate to like have to like try and, you know, censor my children when it comes to the internet because it's impossible unless they don't have anything. Like, but then are you hemorrhaging their education and hemorrhaging their social skills and stuff by taking something away from them, or are you protecting them from like online fucking predators and shit? You know,
and I feel like nowadays if you don't have the latest technology or the newest phone or this or that, like, or a certain social media account, that's reason for bullying in itself.
100%.
People make you feel terrible about yourself because you don't have it, because they make you feel like you're less than because you don't have it, because that's the social standard.
What do you mean you don't have the Samsung S25 Plus? It's like you have the 24. Oh, like, you know what I mean?
It's really funny, like when you get to be an adult. Because, like, even though, there's always the jokes, like, oh, you text them and you get a green message, they obviously a Samsung user or whatever. Yeah. But it's like, people don't actually care as adults. Like, healthy, mature adults, I should say.
Not all adults are healthy and mature.
Not all adults. But yeah, like, healthy, mature adults, like, don't give a crap what kind of phone you have.
No.
But as a child, or growing up as a teenager, like, that's such a big thing. Yeah. Being... like having the newest technology and like proving that you're, able to afford those kind of things. Yeah. And it's just, it's crazy.
There used to be Pokemon cards in high school. Well, not in high school, like primary school too. Like, like, because they've sort of resurged now, like as a massive thing. Like people are streaming Pokemon card openings.
Yeah.
It's a big, it even has its own category. Like it's wild. Like I had Vo come in the stream on Thursday and he rated in with his community, and like I was like, what are you doing? What were you doing? He's like, oh, we were opening Pokemon cards. And I was like, you're like in your mid-20s. He's like, yeah. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was great.
Sure, it was great. I found a Mewtwo or something. I was like, what? Like, when I was a kid, we used to like, we had the Pokemon cards and this is the fucked up part, like, because the Pokemon cards in hindsight that we're trading in the quadrangle or whatever, and like for like packets of chips and some Coke and stuff
Yeah.
are worth thousands of dollars.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. We didn't give a fuck. We were bending them, chucking it in our wallet,
exactly,
making it rain on the grass, whatever it was. Like, we were literally playing with, like, thousands and thousands of dollars that we could have put into, like, trying to invest in $1 million house now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were just, throwing them around the yard. It was fucking that I don't know why that blows my mind so much, but like, because I think about the way that me and Ben used to, like, use Pokemon cards and stuff. Like, we didn't give a fuck. Like, they were like $2 for a booster pack. Like, we didn't give a shit. Like, it's like, I bought 6 today. I threw half of them in the bin. I didn't want them. Like, literally throwing away hundreds of dollars. Like, I just wish that sometimes like that, like things like that, when you look back on life, you're like, I wish I knew about that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wish I took better care of that thing.
Yeah. to this day, I know we have them, but I don't know where they are. I think they're under Ben's house somewhere in a box.
Yeah.
And I can't get them because, like, he doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah.
And, like, it's really weird to go over to his mum's house and be like, hey, by the way, do you mind if I just go under your house and try and find that box of Pokemon cards?
Go through some of your boxes.
Because I know there's
personal belongings.
They're probably worth, like, a lot of money. But I just, I'm too scared to ask her. It's just like, it's a weird
That's
question.
Fair. I would not ask either.
Yeah, she'd be like, you're an adult.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want Pokemon cards? But
and then you couldn't tell her that it would be worth a lot of money because she might want it for herself,
Probably. Knowing me, I'd be like, tell her too much.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably about $1,000 worth of cards there. Door closed. Like, shit. What did you used to collect as a kid? Did you collect anything?
I was really into dolls.
Yeah.
Like, I loved Bratz dolls. That was my thing.
Bride's dolls?
No, Bratz.
Oh my God. I was like, come on. Bratz dolls.
Yeah, Bratz dolls were like my thing until, actually, I probably played dolls a lot longer than I probably should have.
Yeah.
I remember, it's a funny story. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'll tell it anyway.
Go on.
So I was playing Bratz dolls, and there used to be like this desk outside of my room that I would like make little houses out of, because over the years I would have like collected furniture and this and that. I remember I like kind of like left it there and then went to come back later and play with it.
Yeah.
And my sister, she happened to like walk past the desk and she was like, what on earth is happening here? And there was a camera in front of the bed and 2 people in the bed kissing. She was like, what the fuck is happening in this room right now? And like I wasn't making a porno, which looking back now, like
really did look like it.
Yeah, it really looked like it. It just happened to be that like I was using the camera for something and I kind of just like left it there. But yeah, she was just like, what the hell? And my whole family now think I'm just like this really freaky person, which I am, but
just didn't know back then.
I think it all stems from that. I just think it all stems from that moment.
Yeah. Bratz dolls, porno. That's wow, that's fucked. It's funny.
What can I say?
Though. It's funny though. Like everybody has a story like that though. Like everybody's like, as a kid they've done something innocent. You know what I mean? They've been innocently playing with like, your doll or whatever you like. And then, as an adult looking at that, you're like, that could have been interpreted differently. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
the family probably just like, what does she do in her spare time when she's alone in her room?
Yeah. Probably didn't want to know, I would say. It's probably not a concept that we need to talk about.
It's funny now because I have like the filthiest mind that I literally turn everything into something dirty, even if it is something super innocent.
100%.
It's funny looking back on that now because like I was the innocent one in that situation.
Yeah, full circle sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I always like I said with the chat and stuff, like every single time like you're in the chat and I say something that maybe like remotely dirty or remotely like taken as like a sexual innuendo, I just know your name's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
Like I
I'm
don't
like,
even
"Oh."
like it's like you're sitting there listening and you're not really like paying attention, and all of a
I'm
sudden
not most of the time.
I say
Yeah.
like something about, you know, something long and hard, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
you're like,
I'm like,
oh,
"Ooh."
dicks. Like you're just like
Dicks.
dicks. Like
That's all that's on my mind
yeah,
constantly.
yeah, just cock. But it just makes me laugh because like every time I say it, I'm conscious when I say it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
she's gonna say something.
And I feel like I have that effect on like multiple streamers now. Because
100%.
like if I go in their community, they're just like, fuck. As soon as like even sometimes I'll be in like Discord calls and stuff, and before I even get a chance to like open my mouth to say something, they're like, Mickey, stop. No.
They're preempting
I'm
your
like,
dirty mind.
Yeah. And I'm like, damn it. I was like halfway through like saying that or like typing it in chat. Like, how dare you call me out?
It's like you're halfway through the thought process of saying something dirty, and people are already calling you out for being dirty. It's like, come on, my brain hasn't even processed it yet. Like,
yeah, I'm like, but also you're taking away my fun.
Yeah, trying to formulate something exciting for you guys, and you're just ruining the content. Like, what's up with that?
Always happens in fine. Yeah.
Yeah, Queen's chat is pretty filthy. I mean, literally, if you were here's a story. If you were in Queen's chat last night, I feel sorry for you because
Sorry.
no, not because it was Queen's chat, because of the concept of the chat for like an hour and a half was just all cocks. Like it was so filthy. Like between Queen, myself, Lilac, and Rabbit, it was the funniest shit ever. And like, if any new person came into that chat, they would have left immediately. Because like, I think we were talking about Lilac was like, oh yeah, you know, last night I, did the nookie or whatever. And like, she was talking about that. And then Rabbit's like, I wish someone would fuck me. And,
Same.
it was just wild. I was like, this is why I said to her, I was like, you got to make sure we change your stream to mature only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for a change, she's not the one who started it. So,
Well, yeah, like I met Queen in the same Prince chat.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing. I went in there and I just, at first, I always go in there and I kind of gauge. I gauge the streamer and how they're going to react. And I just drop like little things.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are they going to react to me saying this? Because I don't want to get banned or anything.
I remember you going in there first time.
Yeah.
I was there.
Well, yeah, it was because of you.
Yeah.
You showed me your channel. And yeah, I always like, I test the waters, I dip a toe in.
Yeah.
I start with something that's like M, and then I go into R,
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like I started going in there, just say like really sexual things, and then yeah, like me and Queen just clicked like that. Got along really well, and that's what I love is that we even we're starting our streaming journey at the same time, so that that brought us closer together too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I absolutely love that woman.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And if I could snatch her up and marry her, I would.
It's free visa waiting.
Yeah.
It's legal. Let's go. Yeah, no, I remember like one of my favorite streamers who I ever discovered was Saiyan Prince. He's he's one of the nicest. I literally was just chatting to him just before this on on Discord, like just messaging him. But we talk pretty often, and like he's one of those guys that's always just like he's super down to earth.
Yeah,
and he's just super kind.
Yeah.
And
he's so
but
lovely.
he loves a good joke. Like
Yeah.
he soaks it up. And the first time I ever went into his chat was probably like more than a year ago now. I couldn't tell you how I got there. I think I don't know if it was a raid or if it was a recommended or whatever it was, but I remember seeing Queen's name in there early because she's been following him I think a lot longer than I have.
Oh,
and yeah. But I was watching him play Warzone because I was like, I suck at it so bad, and I was just like, how do I get better at this game? Like, and he always plays solos. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll watch people play solos. So it must have been a recommended thing because I remember the only channel when I first got on Twitch watching stuff, I only watched 2 people
Yeah.
for like the longest time. And it was Headache
Yep.
and Rav. And that was it.
Yeah.
And so then I went over to, I found Saiyan Prince's channel. I was like, oh, another Australian. Let's go. So I was like, just hanging out in his chat, just like whatever. I didn't say much. Like I just kind of watched and was trying to learn. Like I still suck at that game. Didn't learn a thing, but I made some good friends. So,
Yeah. No, he has some amazing people in his community as well.
yeah. And like Queen, I feel like his community was the main reason why she started streaming in the first place
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
because of the amount of support she got from everyone. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like you as well, like with the community that we have here, like a lot of people, they see how much fun you're having and like how interactive it is and how like it's awesome to be in the chat and a part of everything. And then you think yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the fun part about it, but it's not always like perfect, you know?
Oh, yeah, no. In fact, if it is perfect, then you're probably not doing it right.
Exactly. Like I've been doing this for a while and I still can't get my mic to work. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like perfect concept. Like
Yeah.
still
Yeah, we can't hear you.
set everything up and still fucked. Like, you know, it's just streamer problems never end. Like I see people who stream who have like 40,000 viewers and they still have problems.
Yeah.
Like technology's not perfect and neither are
Exactly.
you. So
Yeah. Nothing's perfect in this world.
no, 100%. And that's what we gotta remember. I love it though. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
When it comes to work and stuff, like obviously
Yep.
you're in retail and doing all that kind of stuff, but what do you think what is another thing that you think you might want to do in the future? Like, cause you're not gonna be in retail forever, right? So
No, definitely not.
what's the goal? What's the, you know, anything involved with like subjects you might want to study or just other bits and pieces?
You know, I'm still trying to figure it out. There's 2 paths I could go down at this point in time. One being really put my time and effort into starting up my own like nail salon. Because you know, I did the course and I, you know, graduated from that and everything, but life has just kind of thrown that off.
Yeah.
But I've always been, you know, kind of interested in, I guess, like I'm a really big person that loves to help people. I've always loved helping people and making other people happy, and um I feel like I've always been really interested in possibly going into more of like um I don't even know how to say this. Um like at first I wanted to go into social work um and help people out in those kind of regards, people, especially children that
Mhm.
were, you know, struggling with mental health from a young age because of, you know, some of the things that they may be going through at home or whatever. Um but I feel like I also would really love to be somebody who helps like trauma survivors. Um Mostly because I can relate to those people,
Yeah.
and I've grown up around a lot of people with trauma or mental health issues in my life and people that I really care about. And yeah, I find like psychology really I don't necessarily exciting, but interesting. I find it, the concept of the fact like how the brain works and how certain things can affect other things, really, really interesting.
Mm.
But I don't know if I could be bothered to study psychology because that's a lot of time, and
It's a big subject.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot. So I'm just kind of, you know, looking around to see what kind of like little side paths I could kind of take from that, if that makes sense.
No, I get that. Um, my mom always used to tell me that I should do psychology. I don't
Yeah.
know why that is, but like I think it was born because like I was always the person who asked the most questions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like it was like so similar to what you're saying here when you want to help people.
Yeah.
Um, helping people when it comes to mental health is more about understanding why
Yeah.
they have that trauma in the first place.
Yeah.
Because the only way to really address the the way you are today is to figure out what happened in the past,
Yeah.
in order to cause that in the first place. Because
Yeah.
you're not born with that problem. That's a
Yeah.
life experience thing. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
everybody goes through some sort of trauma. Like
Yeah.
it's part of being a human being.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's how you deal with it at the other end of it, which is what's the
Yeah.
important part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And the
And yeah,
lessons that you take from it.
yeah, 100%. I agree. And I've always thought that concept was really interesting. Like, especially when you say how the brain works. Like the brain, we know nothing about it. Like it's so complicated.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we know part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's a very small part.
yeah, that's what I mean. But
Yeah.
if you think about it, real like this is gonna hurt your brain. If you think
Great.
about it this way, right now you're thinking about how the brain works with your brain, right? And it's you can't learn about it because you're learning from it,
Yeah.
but with it.
Yeah.
I know that's it's a weird circle of life just there. It's gonna hurt your mind for a second, but that's the
Yeah.
whole point. Like this is the thing this is why humans are more, excited to go to the moon than to learn about how the brain works, because it's just impossible to learn. Because if you really think about it, you can't measure it because it's individual.
Yeah.
I believe we
Yeah.
had this conversation not long ago.
Yeah,
And
we actually had it.
yeah. But it is just lack of a better word, mind blowing, because it's like of all the things in in the world that we don't understand, it's like it's inside your body. Like it is
Yeah.
it's something like you should understand how
Yeah.
it works. Like we know how everything else works in the body except the brain.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like the internal parts of it, it's like, is it a muscle? Like we don't, you can't
Yeah.
really measure it, because how do you explain someone's imagination?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, how do you explain long-term memory?
Yeah.
Like, and I think like people who work in like trauma and stuff, and they have like people who have like short-term memory loss or long-term memory loss, from whatever it might be, damage to the brain or trauma, like, with an object or whatever it might be. It's like,
Yeah.
how does that happen?
Yeah.
Do you have to hit
And
them
yeah,
in a
you can
certain
even
spot? Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like,
But it can even just be like somebody can have memory issues purely just from, the emotional side of things.
yeah,
And it that they just dissociate with that part of their brain, I guess, or from that memory. Um and it's like it never happened. They don't actually remember any of it at all. It's not like they're just kind of repressing it like consciously.
yeah,
They just generally have lost chunks of their life due to the fact that they went through such traumatic things that the only way for their brain to, continue was to just block it out.
yeah. And which, like, this is gonna sound really silly. The TV show that really like refers to that the best, the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
You laugh now, but if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
When you like, how you're in a vampire and you can turn your mind off, your
Emotions off. Yeah,
emotions off,
yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
then when you turn it back on, it's like complete overhaul
Yeah,
of emotion. Like
everything, like comes flooding back.
you feel everything that you did when you didn't have any, and it's like,
Yeah.
I know that, like, it's it's one of those shows that either love it or you hate it. Like there's
Yeah.
no middle ground on that show. Like I personally love that show. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
no, I love it too.
But yeah, you think about that side of things, and you're like, okay, they kind of I don't think that was their goal. Like when they made that concept,
Yeah.
I think it was probably like just like, oh, this is a cool thing, we'll just do it. But if you think about that as in like the broad side of like people suppressing trauma,
Yeah.
that's literally just a metaphor for that, right?
Yeah.
It's the
exactly.
perfect,
Yeah.
it's just genius, really. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Because like when they turn off their emotions, that's not necessarily, if they had a conscience or if they did care and have feelings, there are things that they wouldn't do.
Yeah,
That's not how they would treat people, or they wouldn't, kill people, whatever. Um, but yeah, it is a very interesting concept, and obviously there is a lot of personality disorders out there that actually there is people out there that don't feel anything. They don't have
100%.
emotions. They don't have, empathy or those kind of things that a normal functioning person does. So that's just interesting in itself how, what you go through in life can really affect who you are as a person and how you feel.
Yeah,
And that pretty much is, from those really important moments like cognitive like moments growing up, going through those things, you can't retrain your brain at that
No.
age. You know, as you become an adult, that's how you are, and you can't just decide to have feelings one day if you don't. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't really work like that, does it?
Yeah.
It's not a switch.
Yeah. Exactly. You can't just be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have feelings now.
Yeah, I give a shit today.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, you never know. Like,
Yeah.
no, I get that too. Like, again, that's like the serial killer mentality, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
that's also like a horror movie concept as well. So like,
Yeah.
you know, they kill without remorse, they kill without
Exactly.
feeling, but they always have a
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
But then you can't understand that purpose because you can't get in the head of that person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's why
Exactly.
people that like track down like real life serial killers and stuff and like try to get in the side of their head and stuff, that's
Yeah, and ask
cool.
them those questions and really try
Yeah.
and dive into, how they felt, why they did that, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
It's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really chilling, like, because you can watch interviews with certain serial killers that are in jail now and stuff like that. And there is those people that ask them the questions, and it's quite chilling, like in their responses, because being somebody who, has those feelings, I have empathy, I have remorse, like, I couldn't even fathom the thought of hurting somebody, let alone actually taking somebody's life. And
They
you
skip those
sit there
parts.
and yeah, you can actually just see that they are generally just a shell, I guess. Like they're a walking human, but they don't function the same way. They're not. It's kind of like they're, I don't know, like aliens, I guess, because they're
Yeah.
so different and their mind works so differently. And it is chilling to see them sit there and they smile about it. Like it makes them happy that they did these things to people or whatever. And it's just because, like you said, you just can't fathom how they have those sort of thoughts because you can't relate to that.
No. That's fucked.
Yeah.
It's so fucked. But you said you wanted to do something in that, so I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's an interesting concept, and I think like in the future, if you do decide to do something like that, I'm sure you'd really enjoy it,
Yeah.
as you can tell. I guess we'll wrap it up a little bit. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on. Like
Yeah, no, thank you.
it's really nice to have someone on here that I know like fairly well as well. So like,
Yeah.
what the best thing about the podcast obviously is I get to meet people, I get to learn new things about people. You
Yeah.
know, like I say, every single time I get someone on from the podcast that I don't know as well, or
Yeah.
I only know from like the internet, I always learn something new.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the fact that you came on is sort of like a level of comfort too, because I'm like, I know you really well and like, you know me
Yeah.
really well. And so like, it's an easy conversation to have. Like this
Yeah.
is the kind of conversation we could just have, like just chilling at home. Like,
Yeah.
so it's really kind of cool that way.
Yeah, no,
So, yeah.
it's
To finish up, I mean, in a year's time, say,
yep.
what does your life look like? I mean, I understand it's a big question,
Yep.
but
To finish up, let's dive into this massive question.
no, we're rolling off the tongue. Because everything that's happened in the last couple of years has been crazy. Like it's been a crazy
Yep.
time. We've all been through some crazy shit.
Yep.
And most of us can relate that to the situation of the world and our personal lives when it comes to, isolation, all that kind of stuff and,
Yep.
and whatever it might be. But say this time next year, like do you have a vision of where you want to be, like of what you want to be achieving? Like,
Not necessarily like specifics. I just know that, I've been working in retail for a long time now, and I want to change. So for me, in a year, I'd hope to be in a different job in a different type of career,
mhm,
even if it's not, one of those two paths that I've been talking about. Just being
just something.
doing something different. Um, Generally, just hope to be happy. I'm not like really wanting, anything in particular. I'm not here going, I'm going to save this much, or I'm going to go travel to this place, or I'm going to do this or this, like, or that. Generally, just want to be able to, be happy, enjoy the moments in life, spend time with the people that I love, and live in the moment. I guess
Hmm.
that's what I want to be able to do, and hope in a year's time, that that is my life.
That's a good answer. I mean,
Is it?
I didn't have an answer for that question. I just thought you would.
Oh God.
Because my answer would have been like, I don't fucking know. Like, but yeah, that was
I feel like
that's good.
there's a lot of work that I want to do internally on myself as well in that
Of
year.
course.
So I think that's probably my biggest goal, is to just focus on me. I
Yeah.
feel like I spend a lot of my life focusing on other people, and like I said, I do love to make other people happy. I do love to lift other people up, but I've definitely kind of neglected myself in that. So I think in this next year is something that I just want to put a lot of focus into me and do work on me and make sure that my life is how I want it to be.
Fuck yeah. That's awesome. Oh, well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And is there any socials you want to pump up, or are you just happy with the Twitch? And yeah,
Just happy with the Twitch.
just give her a follow. And if she goes live one day, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Watch
Going for a
this-
wild ride, possibly.
Yeah,
Or a really
dude,
shit ride. Who knows?
or a giant conversation about dicks. So I mean,
Always. That's always that's always gonna happen.
100%. All right, Mickey, I appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
See
Thank you
ya.
guys for being here. See ya.